Okay, so if you were with us yesterday, you'll be pleased to hear that for our second artistic interlude, the Quick Center for the Arts, in collaboration with Sozo Creative, they're bringing us back Steve Connell. He's an actor, he's a poet, a motivator, and transformative entertainer. Connell's engaging performances are as dynamic as the words he delivers. With command performances for President Obama, Oprah Winfrey, Maya Angelou, and Norman Lear, among so many others, his work's have also been seen on ABC, HBO, and MTV, and he's delivered celebrated live performances at Sundance and the Kennedy Center. Corporate giants like ADP, Nike, Pioneer, and Gap Incorporated are among the many companies who have commissioned work by Steve for his unique ability to create and make an impact with immersive multimedia performances. So let's see what he has to share with us today.
Hello, hello. It is Steve Connell again. So glad to be back. It's day 3. How is it going? I hope it's going magnificently and you figured it all out. And I hope this piece both inspires you and celebrates you and pushes you towards your glorious close. It's called Newborn's Laws of Motion, and it's playing with the idea of Newton's laws of motion and the things that propel us and the physics at work inside us and upon us. And so it's having fun with that, but it's this idea that there's an innate knowing of our magnificence just by being alive, the miracle that is us here in this moment now, and that we do ourselves this disservice of creating this notion that we stop growing in a meaningful way once we hit 2025, right? We've learned all the things and now we're fully baked and we just exist until we get older, but we don't get better, we don't get deeper, we don't continue to grow, continue to take new challenges on and almost teach ourselves that we shouldn't because it's no longer appropriate to be learning. It's no longer appropriate to be struggling. It's no longer appropriate to be awkward rather than get excited by the possibility that we are always learning and we are always in a place of growth, or should be and can be and must be and are. And so what's happening now becomes these times, these tumultuous times, also becomes exciting because what is happening is life allowing us to question and reimagine. And so this piece is about the greatness in us all, and it's called Newborn's Laws of Motion. And I hope it makes you lift a little bit. Thank you.
Newborns know physics. They can't articulate it, but they understand. For every action, I cry, there is an equal and opposite reaction, I eat. A body in motion, mom is working, remains in motion unless an outside force acts, I cry. A body at rest, dad is sleeping, remains at rest unless I cry. Simple. For babies, the mechanics of the universe is baby stuff. They get it. But by the time we are adults, most of us are masters in a different kind of physics. See, as babies, we believe failure is growth. But as adults, we perceive growth as failure. We lose momentum, slow down, and discover the fourth law of motion. It's not always an outside force that stops you. Mistrust, loss, confusion, doubt, despair are inside forces that can stop us cold. The great ones that learn to walk amongst us are advanced in Newborn's laws of motion. They understand that inside force can be used to change our course. They know failure is fuel and misery makes momentum, and they haven't met an outside force yet that can slow us down. They walk their miles in child-sized shoes, so when it comes to rest, like all kids, they refuse. Though they may not be able to articulate what it takes to be great, they know. The first step on the moon was the last step on a road that began with the first step on earth. They understand the physics lessons of newborns. For every action, fall, there is a reaction, stand. For every action, stand, there is a reaction, walk. For every action, walk, there is a reaction, run. For every action, run, there is a reaction, leap. For every action, leap, there is a reaction, fly. We don't fly if we don't fall. You want to fly so high that dare itself dares not go. You first have to fly so low, you have to learn to walk. Then you have to walk, mindful of the fact that there was a time when you couldn't do that. The fact that once you can do it, it's easy, doesn't mean it's no longer hard to do. It's just no longer hard for you. We have to remember a baby step is a giant leap for a baby. We forget. It takes courage to take the first step. And that courage it takes to walk is the courage it takes to talk, is the courage it takes to walk into a room full of strangers and talk to people you don't know. And greatness is the understanding that taking the chance to leap is the first leap towards chance. Greatness is the willingness to baby step out onto thin ice and dance. It is only when acted upon by the cracking of ice that most of us discover that greatness untapped within us. I've seen a man with a damaged spine refuse to be diminished, drag his body from his bed to the finish line of his wife's open arms, and that is the stuff of legend. Without stadiums or fame, the great ones scream their own name. I have seen you learning to thrive off your own high five, waking up at 5 a.m. to go jogging before work, an illiterate man, brave enough to be seen as a baby by people who haven't taken a first step in a long time, because he knows he can't go to the library on the moon until he learns to walk on a book. And he could choose to keep feeling bad he can't read them all, or start feeling good that he could read one. Besides, he tells himself there is just as much shame in reading too many as too few, as whomever has read the most books has lived the fewest stories. Some people never go to college, but they move across the world. Some unmarried people will never dance at their own wedding, but some married people will never dance anywhere else. You can't read about swimming in oceans and swim in the ocean. You have to choose. The Nobel Prize winner can't cook. The brain surgeon didn't party much in college. You can't stand on Mount Everest and be at your son's graduation. First you learn to walk, then you choose a path, and it won't be their path. Like theirs won't be yours. But greatness is believing in the beauty of your own steps, and weakness is refusing to accept that we are all just babies somewhere between 1 and 1,100 months old learning to walk. And no one can make you feel bad about your miracles unless you let them. You want to be great? Watch the ones who did it. They will tell you that greatness is for everyone who wants to come and get it in back roads and offices, in high school gyms, in adult education classrooms. It waits. And if you don't chase it down, it's because you've been convinced that greatness doesn't belong with your fingerprints. When the forces acting on you to rest are not letting up, you are not down. You are at the lowest phase of getting up. You are right when the Wright brothers were wrong. Shakespeare's worst case of writer's block. You are the song of a bird flying with broken wings. And that may sound funny, but when a broken bird finally feels his feet lift and the warm gift of sun on his wings, he sings a miracle song that says clearly, what I care what you think of what I look like when I fly. I nearly died to get here, but here I am. And that's the song that says to fate, 2 words, checkmate. If the pawn takes the king, it means one thing. He never believed he was a pawn, just a newborn who flies when he falls, who rocks Jeremy Lin posters on his walls, who drinks hope mixed with monster and recites this Muhammad Ali quote as a mantra, I am the greatest. I said that before I even knew I was. When we see greatness, what we don't see is that what we don't see is the greatness. So greatness, I see you now painting your apartment walls, helping your child with her homework, stepping on the scale. Greatness, you are the willingness to fail. You are Batman with bedpans. You are Gandhi with a stethoscope. You are an OR nurse who must have a Prada purse because you are as rich as you are loved. So you walk like you rock Vera Wang scrubs and cashmere gloves. That is who you are. The firefighter charging into a 4-story walk-up. The kid who failed the trick but got up and tried it again. Like the doctor who tried it again until he finally got a pulse. Or the x-ray technician who tried it again till he finally got results. The snowflake becoming the avalanche. The raindrop becoming the flood. The unstoppable force that doesn't believe in the immovable object. The body that won't rest until it rests in peace. We are the miracle of 10 fingers, 10 toes on 2 feet, capillaries, eyes, nose, tongues, lungs, 30 some odd teeth clenched together tight, 206 bones ready to fight, fall, crawl, rise, walk, run, fly. 7 billion baby physicists take to the sky, land on the moon and swear. Greatness is for all of us who are brave enough to get there. Wherever once a giant leapt, first a baby stepped there. I, baby stepped where I stand now, a fully grown, 444-month-old newborn man, proud to be able to recall newborn's laws of motions. We don't fly if we don't fall. As newborns, we know physics. We can't articulate it, but we understand.